On Christmas morning in 2002, a man in a cowboy hat won the largest lottery jackpot in American history. He was already rich. He had a loving wife, a daughter, and a granddaughter he adored more than anything on earth. 5 years later, almost all of it would be gone: the money, the granddaughter, the family, the man he used to be. This is not a story about losing money. It's about what money does to the people around you when there is suddenly too much of it. And it ends with a sentence he would repeat for the rest of his life: "I wish I had torn that ticket up." His name was Jack Whittaker, and here is the part everyone forgets. He did not need the money. Jack was already a millionaire, a self-made contractor from West Virginia who had built a water and sewer company from nothing into a business worth some $17 million. He wore a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, spoke plainly, and had worked with his hands his whole life. He had been married to his wife, Jewel, for decades. He went to church. He gave to people quietly, before anyone was watching, because that was simply how he had been raised. In his town, Jack Whittaker was known not as a rich man but as a decent one, the kind of neighbor who would send a crew to fix your pipes and forget to send the bill. That reputation had taken him 60 years to build. It would take the money about 18 months to erase. And at the center of his world was his granddaughter, Brandy. She was 17. Jack doted on her. She was, by every account, the light of his life. He would have given her anything. Soon, tragically, he could. So when Jack bought a Powerball ticket that December, it wasn't desperation. It was a habit, a $2 flutter. He had everything a man could reasonably want. What he was about to receive was something no one is built to survive. On the 25th of December, 2002, Jack's numbers came up. $314.9 million, at the time, the largest jackpot ever won by a single ticket in the United States. He took the cash option, a lump sum of around $113 million. Cutout, cash_stack.png, right? It is almost impossible to feel a number that large. $113 million, dropped into the lap of a man from a small West Virginia town, overnight. Reporters camped outside his home. Strangers he had never met suddenly called themselves friends. The phone did not stop ringing. From the very first morning, Jack was no longer a private man with a private life, he was a jackpot with a face, and the whole country now knew his name. At the press conference, Jack said all the right things. He promised to tithe to his church, to start a charity, to help the people of his state. And at first, he meant every word. He gave millions to churches. He set up a foundation. He handed cash to strangers who caught his eye: a waitress, a man at a gas station, families who wrote him letters. He gave the young woman who sold him the winning ticket a house, a truck, and a large sum of cash. He gave millions to build churches. He created the Jack Whittaker Foundation to provide food and clothing to families across West Virginia. For a while, he could not give it away fast enough, and he seemed genuinely happy doing it. For a few months, it looked like the rarest thing of all, a lottery winner who would use the money well. But the money had already begun to change the air around him. Everyone in his life now knew exactly how much he was worth. And so did everyone who wasn't. Jack started carrying enormous sums of cash, tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes far more, in a briefcase in his car. He liked to peel off bills. He liked being the man who could pay for anything. But a man carrying a fortune in his front seat is a target, and the world noticed. One night, outside a strip club called the Pink Pony, someone drugged his drink and stole a briefcase from his car. Inside was $545,000 in cash. Cutout, gavel.png, left. Then came the lawsuits, dozens of them. People sued him for things real and invented. He was arrested more than once for drunk driving. A casino sued him over bounced gambling debts, after nights where he lost tens of thousands at the tables. He was accused of groping women at a racetrack and a nightclub. He made threats. The stories piled up, each one chipping away at the decent neighbor everyone had known. The generous man from the press conference was disappearing, and a harder, angrier, drinking man was taking his place. Jack would later say something haunting about this stretch of his life, that he wished he had never won, because the money had made him into someone he did not recognize, and made everyone around him into someone he could no longer trust. But the worst consequence of the money was not happening to Jack at all. It was happening to Brandy. Jack gave Brandy everything. Cash. 4 new cars. Thousands of dollars in spending money, handed over freely. He could not say no to her. She was his granddaughter, the joy of his life, and now he had unlimited means to spoil her. But a 17-year-old with a rich, famous grandfather and pockets full of cash became a magnet for the worst kind of people. New friends appeared. Older ones. Drugs followed the money into her life. Jack watched, helpless, as the granddaughter he had tried to give the world to slip somewhere he couldn't reach. He had wanted to protect her by giving her everything. Instead, the everything he gave her became the very thing that put her in danger. He later said, plainly, that he believed the money, his money, was what killed her. Cutout, pill_bottle.png, right? In the autumn of 2004, Brandy's 18-year-old boyfriend was found dead of a drug overdose inside one of Jack's houses. It was a warning, written as clearly as a warning can be. 3 months later, the warning came true. Just before Christmas, 2 years, almost to the day, after the win, Brandy disappeared. She was found weeks later, 17 years old, dead of an overdose, her body wrapped and hidden behind a junked van. The light of Jack's life was gone. And Jack was certain of the reason. "My granddaughter is dead," he said, "because of the money." After that, the unraveling was total. His marriage ended. A few years later, his daughter, Brandy's mother, died as well. Jack drank. He said thieves had drained his bank accounts until the fortune was simply gone. The man who had won more than anyone in history was, by his own account, broke and utterly alone. The houses that money bought stood empty. In 2016, one of them burned. Jack looked at what was left of his life: no granddaughter, no daughter, no marriage, no fortune, no peace, and reached a conclusion almost no one who buys a ticket ever considers. Cutout, lottery_ticket.png, left. "I wish I had torn that ticket up," Jack said. He meant it. He said it more than once, to more than one reporter, in the flat voice of a man who had done the math and knew exactly what the win had cost. He had traded a comfortable life full of the people he loved for a fortune that took every one of them away. Think about what he actually lost. Before the ticket, Jack had a wife, a daughter, a granddaughter, a good name, and more money than he could spend. Afterwards, he had none of them. Not the marriage. Not the daughter. Not Brandy. Not the reputation. Not even, in the end, the fortune itself. The lottery is sold as the shortcut to a better life. For Jack Whittaker it was a shortcut, but to the opposite of everything he had. Jack Whittaker died in 2020, at 72. In the end, the money he couldn't give away fast enough had outlived almost everyone he'd tried to give it to. And that is the cruel arithmetic at the heart of his story. The win didn't ruin him by making him poor. It ruined him by making everyone around him worth robbing, worth using, worth destroying. We tell ourselves that money would solve it: the debts, the worries, the small indignities of an ordinary life. Jack Whittaker had an ordinary life, and a good one. Then he got the thing we all say we want, in the largest amount anyone ever had. And he spent the rest of his years wishing, with everything he had left, that he never had.